we've made it to our next stop here in Albania. This is the beautiful coastal city of Vlore, Albania. Welcome guys back to another video here from the beautiful country of Albania. We've woken up again this morning in the town of Dhermi. You can see the beach is just right there and the ocean and the horizon. It's all there, just an expansive ocean of blue. We're going to be leaving Dhermi today. We're going to be heading to another city in Albania, and this will be our final stop in Albania. So our Albania series, our Albania trip is almost coming to an end, which devastates me because this is such a beautiful country to explore, and we've seen some of the most amazing views in this country, especially in Dhermi. I cannot tell you how beautiful Dhermi is, because this has easily been one of the most beautiful coastal towns I have ever been to in my life, and that's saying a lot because I've been to a lot of coastal towns. The one thing I don't like about the town is how spread out it is. Our hotel takes about 20 minutes to get down to the beach walking, and then another 20 minutes up to the town, so it's a little bit annoying in that sense, but other than that, this place just is magnificent. It's perfect, and if you're looking for a fun holiday, Dhermi is probably the most amazing town you can come to. Like I have mentioned in previous vlogs, there's a Dhermi music festival that takes place every year, and that's been popping off. That's why there's a lot of young people who have come to Dhermi in the past few days, and that's why a lot of hotel reservations have been completely full. But nowadays, once the music festival is over, Dhermi is just another cool, quiet beach that a lot of foreigners come to stay at. But regardless, we're gonna go ahead and get stuff packed, and we are going to head back up to the highway in order to get the next bus out of Dhermi. Let's go ahead and get started with this travel day. One thing I hate about Dhermi is how steep those hikes are up to the highway. As you can see, I'm sweating right now just from a 15-minute hike, but it's just so hot in the Albanian sun and the slope is so steep. But I'm gonna get some juice because it's just burning hot right now and I need something cooling in my body, so let's go get something to eat. We made it up to the highway. We're waiting for the bus that's heading in that direction, so we're just waiting here. There's another couple here waiting, so we're not the only ones here, fortunately. But we've got our snacks here. We've got some Kinder bars, some juice, just some things. But yeah, it's a hot day in Albania. I don't know how much longer I can tolerate this, so let's hope the bus comes pretty soon. And well, after literally about an hour and a half, not even that long of a journey, we've made it to our next stop here in Albania. This is the beautiful coastal city of Vlore. Vlore is a coastal city, and it is a city with beaches, it is a city with resorts, and it is a pretty well visited city along the sort of Albanian Riviera tourist route. But right now we're just heading over to the main beach of Vlore. I just want to check it out, but we're not going to spend a lot of time there because today we're really going to spend more time exploring the city, the town of Vlore. That's where a lot of the history is. They've got an old town, they've got viewpoints. It's a really, really nice city. It's supposed to be a beautiful city, so that's what we're going to do. But first, let's go ahead and head down to the coast. Now I have to say that ride from Dhermi here to Vlore was one of the most beautiful rides ever, and it was really interesting because we were climbing up these mountains and there were these clouds and mist that was coming through, so it was actually quite cold on the bus ride over from Dhermi. It got a little bit chilly on the bus, especially with the windows open. But then we come here to Vlore and the temperature is just back as hot as it was back in Dhermi. The sun is out, it's hot, I'm sweating again. So the contrast and the temperatures, depending on where you are in Albania, even the road, you're on in Albania makes a massive difference in this country. Now, as we're walking towards the beach, I just found something really interesting that I need to tell you guys about, and that's this guy right behind me. His name is Ismail Kemal, and he is known as the founding father of Albania, who helped to create the Albanian independence in the early 1900s, especially during the World War I period. He's from Vlore, so he is a son of Vlore, which is why this is such an important city for him, and this is why there's a statue of him here in the center of the city. But he was really important in Albanian independence. I think he drafted the constitution or something like that, so he was really important to Albania's history, and that's why he has his own statue here in Vlore. But this right here is his hometown. I'm sure it's really windy and you can barely hear my voice, but this right here is the coastline here in Vlore. And I don't know what's going on today, but it's really windy, and the waves here, the waves are massive. The boats are just being rocked back and forth, and they're already attached to the ground, but the waves are incredibly massive here. I don't know why they're so big today. Maybe it's because of the wind, maybe because the wind is so strong today, the waves are so massive. But these waves are absolutely incredibly powerful. They're really strong, and the wind is just, oh my god, it's hitting me right in the face. But that's gonna be it for the beach side. What I'm now gonna show you guys is on the opposite side of town in Vlore, is where the real old town of Vlore is. Now, I have to say, even though Vlore is just on the coast, as in Dhermi and Sarande, I feel like it has more of an Italian influence than a Greek influence. Usually when you went to Dhermi, for example, it looked exactly like Greece. But here, as I'm walking along the main road here in Vlore, everything's sort of Italian based. They have Italian furniture, tours to Italy. I think it may be because Sarande and Dhermi, they're closer to Greece. You know, Corfu is just a ferry ride away from Sarande, and perhaps maybe Vlore is closer to Italy. But it's quite interesting to see that contrast in the cities, seeing that this one tends to be more Italian oriented, while the ones in the south are much more Greek oriented, in my opinion at least. Now, it's been a few hours later, and what I've realized is that the old town of Vlore is actually quite a ways away from the beach area. So I'm currently at my Airbnb, and I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna continue this vlog tomorrow morning, and that's when we're gonna go see the old town of Vlore, and we're gonna do a little bit more of Vlore, but there's not really that much of Vlore because Vlore is just another really big coastal city with like buildings like these, or a bunch of residential apartments. It's not like Sarande where you've got mountains and beaches. That's not really the case for Vlore. So there's not really that much to do in Vlore, but we will explore the old town tomorrow morning, and that's about it. There might be a viewpoint, I'm not really sure, but it is we're starting to just have sunset here in Vlore. It's absolutely amazing. But I think I'm going to end it tonight, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning here from the beautiful city of Vlore, Albania. Good morning, guys, from another beautiful day here in Vlore. It is indeed the next day, and I think, as I promised, let's go ahead and visit the beautiful old town of Vlore and see what there is to explore. Like I said, Vlore is a really big city. Let's go ahead and explore the real Vlore to see what this city is really about. Now, Vlore is known for a couple important symbols, but this one right behind me might be the most important symbol that Vlore has to offer, because it has been around for over, what, like 400 years? This is Muradia Mosque. Muradia Mosque was built in the 16th century, so it's been around for a really long time, and from the outside you can see it's a really old mosque with a very tall minaret. Now, it's important to remember that Vlore is a relatively new town, not new in the sense that people haven't lived here for a very long time, but the buildings you see, the architecture you see, it's all new. This mosque here is the only remaining building from that time period, from the ancient time of Vlore. So it's really, really interesting to see that. Now, I am not dressed for a mosque. As you can see, I've got shorts on, so I'm not going inside. I've got sandals. I will get kicked out. But if you look at the mosque, you can just tell how beautiful it is. It's so old, it's so pristine, and it's just right here in the center of the old town of Vlore. It's really, really beautiful. It's got this beautiful tree coming along. But I'm gonna just go into the entrance and sort of show you what's like a sneak peek inside of the mosque. But other than that, it's really, really stunning. You can see the minarets still there, and to imagine that this building has been around for like, what, 500 years, 400 years, and it's still standing today, that is very impressive. Now, it hasn't been taken care of very well. You can see there's grass growing on the top of the dome, on the top of the roof. But still, regardless, it is really, really incredible to see that mosque right behind me still standing after so many years, and you know, just sort of fell into disrepair for a long time of it. But it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, and we're gonna keep going. The old town of Vlore is actually just right in that direction, so we're gonna go ahead and keep walking around this area. I just looked inside the mosque a little bit. I have to say, the mosque is a very simple mosque. The tile work before the mosque is absolutely beautiful, and they have this old well, and you can tell it's really, really old. It's rusty, and I'm not sure if there's water at the bottom. And oh, there is water at the bottom. I can see the water at the bottom. But they've got an old well. The minaret, like I said, it's really, really beautiful, but the inside is really simple. It's just a really, really nice, simple mosque that I think even today some of the Muslims here in the city of Vlore will come to for their prayers. But it's completely open, completely free, and it's really, really magnificent. Now, we've just left the mosque by about 2 minutes, and we've come to this here. This is the Independence Monument here in Vlore. Now, remember, Albania got its independence only in 1912. During, you know, World War II period, and the guy who led it, Ismail Kemal, is from here in Vlore, and you can see he's the guy right at the front of the statue. He's the guy leading the men behind him, the statesman, the one in the coat and the suit that brought Albania its independence, and he's just right there at the front. Now, there's supposed to be a square here, but I don't know if you can see, it's just gravel. So I think they're building, I think they're developing, and there's just a lot of construction going on right behind me. But this statue, this is probably one of the most important statues that Albania has to offer, because it's so important to the history of this city and this country. Well, finally, after walking for literally another 2 minutes, we have made it to the place that I've wanted to see here in Vlore. It's a place that's renovated. It's not the original thing, but it looks absolutely amazing the way it is, with all the colors and the decorations and everything. This is the old town of Vlore. Now, this place is renovated. I think they renovated it with some Italian government or the European government. I don't know exactly how they renovated it, but it looks really, really nice. And you can tell here, you've got like bars and restaurants and flags and decorations on the top. The lamps are absolutely beautiful. And it's all different colors. You know, you've got yellow, you've got red, orange, green, all these nice pastel colors that look like, you know, it's something made out of Europe. I mean, look at these little streets here. This looks like something you would expect in, you know, Italy or France. Like, it's very, very European, but it's absolutely beautiful. And I can only imagine at night how beautiful this street is, because the lights turn on, the restaurants are lively, people walk along here to find food, cafes, bars, things like that. It must be absolutely incredible to come to the old town here at night. But we're here during the day, but it's still absolutely amazing. It's really, really beautiful. They've even got some like decorations like butterflies and things currently on the top. They have these wires on the top. That means that they can hang all different things depending on the season. But you just see locals just walking around here like it's an average normal day, nothing special, nothing new. But yeah, this place is really, really beautiful. And like I said, the complex thing about Vlore is that it's got two places. It's got the beach side, the seaside, and then it's got the main sort of old town Vlore. This is the old town Vlore. And to get to the beach, it'll probably take about 50 minutes to an hour walking. So That's the difficult thing about Vlore. That's the difficult thing about traveling Vlore, because the city is so spread out. You don't have everything in one place. Usually you have the old town right next to the beach, but in Vlore, it's a little bit different. But anyways, I'm gonna end the video of Vlore right here in this beautiful old town that you can see right behind me. The street is absolutely amazing. And if you've got just locals just walking around here, taking a normal stroll, it's just so casual, but it's so beautiful. I hope you guys have enjoyed this little short vlog of Vlore. If you have, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more food and travel videos, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye guys.